Hey everyone, welcome to my betrayed and broken channel. It's raw, it's real, and it's my story. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter, because trust me, this is just the beginning. Buckle up and let's dive in. It's been a brutal couple of weeks. 2 weeks since my world cracked open and everything good spilled out. 2 weeks since I found out my wife Sarah was sleeping with someone else. Yeah, cheating. The word tastes like ash in my mouth. I'd been getting that sick feeling in my gut for a while, little things that didn't add up. Late nights at the office, Sarah suddenly caring about her appearance more than usual, hushed phone calls she'd take in the other room, red flags waving like crazy, but I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. I finally worked up the nerve to confront her. Big mistake. Her reaction wasn't guilt, wasn't shame. It was pure, unadulterated fury. "How dare you accuse me of something so disgusting?" She spat at me, eyes blazing. "I would never, ever do that to you." The performance was Oscar-worthy, but the over-the-top denial, it just slammed the door shut on any doubt I had left. She was hiding something, big time. So I went full detective mode. Snooped through her phone, her laptop, every digital corner of her life. Nothing. She was either really good at hiding it, or I was missing something. Then it hit me. Old school surveillance. I ordered a few tiny cameras online, the kind that look like phone chargers. Placed them strategically around our apartment, mostly in the living room and bedroom. Then I told Sarah I was heading upstate for a weekend, visiting my buddy Mark. Lied straight to her face. The guilt twisted in my stomach, but I had to know the truth. See? Sarah and we go way back. I met her here in the city about 12 years ago. I was just out of college, bright-eyed, clueless. She was a year older, already had a little boy, Ethan, who was 3. She was a package deal, and I bought in instantly. Ethan's dad was a ghost, never in the picture. From day one, I stepped up, changed diapers, went to soccer practice, helped with homework, everything. I became his dad in every way that mattered. We'd been married for 6 years. 6 years I thought were real. 6 years of building a life, a family, on what turned out to be a foundation of lies. I drove halfway to Mark's, then turned around. Parked a few blocks from our building, heart hammering against my ribs. Pulled up the camera feed on my phone, and there she was, on our couch, not alone, with him. Mark. My freaking wife was in our living room, with Mark, doing things that made my blood run cold. Mark, her colleague from work. Mark, who we'd had over for dinner countless times. Mark, who was married to Jessica, who Sarah called a friend. The betrayal was layered, a sickening, suffocating weight. The footage played out on my phone screen, each second twisting the knife deeper. I watched, numb at first. Then the rage started to boil. It started in my stomach, a low, simmering heat. Then it spread, up my chest into my throat, until my head felt like it was going to explode. Red. Everything went red. I don't even remember walking up the stairs to our apartment. I just remember bursting through the door, the video still playing in my head, burned onto my retinas. The apartment was empty, thankfully. Sarah was probably still with him, wherever the hell they went after our couch. Good. Because if she'd been there, I honestly don't know what I would have done. I lost it. Completely, utterly lost it. I'm usually a pretty calm guy. Ask anyone. Mellow Mike, they call me. Not that day. That day, Mellow Mike turned into a goddamn hurricane. I started screaming, yelling things I don't even remember. Fists flying, slamming into the walls. I kicked the bedroom door so hard it ripped off its hinges and went crashing into the glass coffee table, shattering it into a million pieces. Glass crunched under my feet. I tasted blood, bit the inside of my cheek without even realizing it. When I screamed again, blood sprayed onto the wall, onto the floor, like a scene from a horror movie, and I was the monster. At some point, I stumbled, hit my head hard on the corner of the bookshelf. Something snapped in my brain. The red fog started to lift, replaced by a cold, stark clarity. I looked around at the wreckage, our home ripped apart. By me. I was the one destroying everything, and I knew, with chilling certainty, that if Sarah walked in right then, I'd either end up in jail for domestic violence or worse. I had to get out. Now, I grabbed a suitcase, threw in some clothes, toiletries, essentials, my laptop, my work laptop. I'm a simulation and modeling engineer, basically a glorified computer nerd. My machine is custom-built, worth more than my car. Had to have it. Before I left, I copied the video footage onto a USB drive, walked over to my computer, typed out a quick email. To Jessica, Mark's wife. Subject line: "You need to see this." Attached the video, wrote a short message. "Your husband is cheating with my wife, Sarah." Hit send. Then I walked out. Downstairs, outside the building, I saw Ethan. He was coming back from school, backpack slung over his shoulder. He looked up, saw me with the suitcase. "Mike?" I knelt down, pulled him into a hug, held him tight. "I love you, buddy," I choked out. "I'll always love you." Then stupidly, impulsively, I said it. Your mom has been cheating on me. I have to leave." His face crumpled. Tears welled up in his eyes. "What?" I instantly regretted it. He's just a kid. He didn't need to know this. But the words were out, hanging in the air between us. I stood up, grabbed my suitcase. "I gotta go, Ethan. I'll call you, okay?" He just stood there frozen, watching me walk away. Worst mistake I made that day, maybe ever. I drove and drove. My family is up in upstate New York, near the Canadian border. Figured I could cross over, stay with my aunt and uncle for a while, clear my head. But border control turned me away. COVID restrictions, they said. Essential travel only. Betrayal and heartbreak apparently weren't considered essential. So here I am, renting some dumpy apartment in Queens, working remotely, staring at computer screens all day, running simulations that mean absolutely nothing anymore. I feel like a zombie, just going through the motions. I haven't spoken to Sarah, not a word. The only person I've talked to is Ethan. He calls me every day, asks questions. Where am I? When am I coming back? Is it really true about his mom? I try to be honest as I can be with an 11-year-old. I told him I don't know what's going to happen next. But I am filing for divorce. That much I know. Been trying to find a good lawyer. My phone has been blowing up. Hundreds of messages. Sarah, her mom, her sister, her friends. A whole damn lynch mob. I haven't opened a single one. My parents are the only ones who know what's going on my side. Haven't told any of my friends yet. Too many mutual friends with Sarah. Don't want to deal with the drama, the gossip, the choosing sides. I feel completely alone, isolated. No support system. I'm terrified. Terrified of seeing Sarah again. Terrified of losing it again. Doing something I can't take back. But even more terrified of losing Ethan. How do I navigate this? How do I stay in his life when his mother is the woman who ripped my heart out? I'm still boiling with rage. It's always there, simmering just beneath the surface, threatening to erupt again. I know I need to respond to Sarah eventually, deal with the fallout, but right now I'm too raw, too angry to even think straight, too close to the edge. Update 1. Okay. Taking a breath. Actually feeling slightly better. A tiny sliver of light in the darkness. You're not going to believe what I did. I went to a cage fighting club. Yeah, you read that right. Me, Mellow Mike, in a cage fighting club. Let me be clear. I have zero fighting experience. Zip. Nada. I'm not exactly in peak physical condition either. The few times I've been in a fist fight in my life, back in high school, I got my ass handed to me. But I was desperate. Needed to do something, anything, to channel this rage before it consumed me. So I found this place in Brooklyn, the Iron Pit. Sounded intimidating enough. Walked in, feeling like a complete idiot. Told the guy at the front desk, huge dude, muscles bulging out of his t-shirt, I wanted to try a class. He looked at me, probably thinking I was lost, asked if I'd ever boxed before. I shook my head. Then I just blurted it out, told him everything. About Sarah, about Mark, about the video, about smashing up my apartment. Everything just poured out of me. And you know what? He listened. Didn't laugh. Didn't judge. Just listened. When I was done, he nodded slowly. Man, that's rough, he said. Really rough. Then he did something unexpected. He said, "Come on, let's get you started." The people there, they were surprisingly cool, surprisingly kind. They seemed to get it. Maybe they'd all been there, in their own way. First, they put me through a workout. 2 hours of brutal cardio and strength training. Push-ups, sit-ups, burpees, jumping jacks, stuff I haven't done since gym class in middle school. I was drenched in sweat, muscles screaming, lungs burning. But the anger, it was still there, buzzing under my skin. So, then they did something even crazier. They put me in the ring with an experienced fighter, a guy named Tony who looked like he could bench press a small car. He was clearly told to take it easy on me, and he did. But even then I was pathetic. Every time I tried to throw a punch, he'd just effortlessly block it. Same with kicks. I was clumsy, slow, completely out of my element. The few times I actually managed to land a hit, he'd just give me a gentle tap back, a little smack that was enough to send me stumbling. After every exchange, he'd ask, "You okay, man?" And get this, he actually apologized a couple of times when he thought he might have hit me too hard. Apologized for hitting his opponent in a fight. It was insane. He didn't see me as a threat, not even a little bit, which honestly was both humbling and oddly comforting. That little sparring session, that beatdown, whatever you want to call it, actually helped. A lot. The burning white-hot rage. It's not gone completely, but it's manageable now. It's like the pressure valve has been released a little. I'm still pissed. Don't get me wrong, but it's a different kind of pissed. More controlled, focused, maybe. I plan to go back to the Iron Pit for more training and more beatings. Maybe, just maybe, I can punch and kick this anger out of my system. I still don't trust myself enough to be in the same room as Sarah. Not yet. But maybe. Maybe I'm starting to see a way through this. A way to survive. Update 2. Sorry for the radio silence. Things have been hectic. Hectic in the worst possible way. I've been calling Ethan every day, twice a day, trying to keep some kind of connection, some kind of normalcy for him. He'd been telling me things were okay at home. Mom's just tired, he'd say. She's been sleeping a lot. I wanted to believe him, needed to believe him, but yesterday, during our evening call, his voice cracked. He started sniffling. Then the dam broke. He sobbed. "It's not okay, Mike," he choked out. "It's really, really bad." He told me everything. How Sarah had been barely moving from the couch, staring at the TV, not even watching it, not eating. The house was a disaster. Rotting garbage piled up in the kitchen, dirty dishes everywhere, broken glass still scattered on the living room floor. He hadn't had a proper meal in days, just some sandwiches a friend's mom had made for him. 11 years old, taking care of himself, taking care of his broken mother. My heart shattered into a million pieces all over again. I didn't even think, just reacted. "I'm coming home, Ethan," I said. "I'm coming home right now." I drove back to the city like a maniac, speeding, weaving through traffic, adrenaline pumping. Parked illegally outside our building, ran up the stairs, fumbling with the keys. When I opened the door, the smell hit me first. A wave of stench that made me gag. Rotten food, overflowing trash, something else, something sickly sweet and stale. Disgusting. The apartment was worse than Ethan described. A pigsty, clothes strewn everywhere, furniture overturned, the air thick with grime and despair. I found Ethan first. He was in his room, huddled on his bed, looking small and lost. I rushed over, pulled him into a hug. "Hey, buddy," I whispered. "I'm here. It's okay." I had grabbed some food on the way. Pizza, chips, juice boxes, kid stuff. He devoured the pizza like he hadn't eaten in days. Which he probably hadn't. He cried, hugged me tight, wouldn't let go. "Promise me you won't leave again, Mike," he sobbed. "Promise me." "I promise, Ethan," I said. "I promise I'll never leave you again." Another promise I might not be able to keep, but in that moment it was all I could say. Then I went to find Sarah. She was on the couch, just like Ethan said, curled up in a fetal position, wrapped in a dirty blanket. The sight of her, it shook me to my core. She looked skeletal. Skin stretched tight over bone, eyes sunken in, dark rings underneath them, hair matted, tangled, greasy. She looked like a ghost, a walking corpse. She didn't even register I was there at first. Stared blankly at the TV, some inane reality show blaring in the background. I sat down on the floor in front of her, gently touched her arm. She flinched, slowly turned her head. Her eyes, when they focused on me, were hollow, empty.
"Mike," she whispered, is that really you?"
"Yes, Sarah, it's me," I said softly. "I'm here." And then she broke. Completely, utterly shattered. Broke down in a way I'd never seen before. Crying, screaming, wailing, a sound that ripped through me. She was sobbing about Mark, about me, about everything, about nothing. Incoherent words tumbling out of her mouth, a torrent of pain and despair. Then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. Her eyes rolled back in her head and she slumped forward, unconscious. Passed out cold. Panic surged through me. I checked her pulse. Faint, but there. I scooped her up in my arms. She was so light, like lifting a child, and rushed her out of the apartment, down the stairs into my car. Speeding to the nearest hospital, sirens screaming in my head. She's been there ever since. Still unconscious. Doctors are running tests, haven't diagnosed her yet. But it's clear. She's not well. Not physically, not mentally, not at all. And suddenly, everything changed. The rage, the anger, the betrayal. It all felt distant, muffled, almost irrelevant. Looking at Sarah lying there, broken and frail, all I felt was something else, something complicated, something I didn't understand. Pity. Guilt. Maybe even a flicker of what used to be love. I don't know. But one thing I do know. This story, it's far from over, and it's about to get a whole lot more complicated.